Onze volgende spreker is, we gaan vlotjes van Vlaanderen of van België naar Frankrijk en zonder Schengen-problemen naar Zweden. De volgende spreker is Fredrik Ardefors. Ardefors, the O is U in Swedish, I think. I'm going to explain what you do, Fredrik. Fredrik is eigenlijk de Zweedse variant van onze Chris Lorke. Hij is de CEO van SDAB, althans variant, niet in fenomenale zin, van fenomenologische zin moet ik zeggen, wel in fenomenale zin, want wat jullie doen is fenomenaal. Maar is de CEO van SDAB. En SDAB is de Zweedse variant van Recytyre. En vergeet niet, Recytyre is een absolute voorloper in Europa. Dat is echt fantastisch in zaken recyclage van oude banden en het beschouwen als secundaire grondstoffen. Maar dat is eigenlijk ook wel een beetje het geval voor de goede vrienden van Zweden, van SDAB. En de CEO staat hier naast mij, gaat u het een en ander vertellen over hun slagen in iets fantastisch, wat niet overal eenvoudig is, hun slagen in de shift van een push-strategie om uiteindelijk afzetkanalen te vinden voor die afvalbanden, voor die oude banden, naar een poolstrategie. Dat is eigenlijk interessant. Kijken, weten wat er leeft in Zweden, weten de industrie te overtuigen om uiteindelijk actief te vragen naar die secundaire grondstoffen van afvalbanden. En daarin is SDAB gelukt. And I'm going to propose you now to have the floor. The floor is yours to explain a little bit what you do and how you can indeed, how you managed the shift from push to pull.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm going to give you that to you.
Yes, thank you for that kind introduction, and thank you for having me here today. Again, my name is Fredrik Ardefors, and I'm responsible for the legislated but private Swedish scheme for collecting and recycling of tires. We collect some 84,000 tons of tires every year, which is 104% of what's reported sold, so we're actually collecting more than what's sold. There is some grey import, of course, but I think we're doing it quite well. Some 70% is being recycled as material. 30% is energy recovered. Half of that is going to the cement industry. Half is being heat and used for central heating. Now, so I think we have a quite good system, and we should maybe be quite content. And I see that sofa, it's very inviting to just lie down and relax. But unfortunately, that's not the reality. We have some black clouds on the sky. And one of them is that we cannot see the cost of collecting and recycling coming down. On the contrary, we see new regulations, legislation, we see competition, we see new technology in tires actually driving the cost. So we need to do something. And what do you do? Well, you go back to school, university, and think, what did I learn? So I went up to the attic, found a box with some marketing strategy literature. And from that, I found a very interesting setup. Going into the value chains of the whole tire and the tire material. And as you can see on the left-hand side of the red dotted line, that is the traditional SDAB role and where we're playing. We have the tire manufacturers, we have the workshops, the life cycle of the tire, the collecting, and then some sort of recycling. And that's more or less the extended arm of the government. We're taking care of a waste problem, right? Now, in terms of marketing, that is a push strategy. Take care of waste, try to get someone to take over it after us, so we are off the hook. What we did is we continued the analysis in the value chain, and you see on the right-hand side a further refinement from the, for example, granulate. It goes from black to yellow, and from that it's packaged into a new application, which could be a football pitch or water cleaning or a road or something like that. or even coming back to the tire industry. But what's important is really to look and to follow the money and who is earning money and what are the drivers in the value chain. And we found out that it's quite natural. I mean, a tire manufacturer is making money, the workshop is making money, we are collecting the tires, and then we have to pay. We're not making money, we have to pay for a recycler to do something. Then after the recycler, they try to get rid of the material to some refinement. Sometimes they get paid, sometimes they have to pay. And eventually there is a new actor selling football pitches, packaging everything and making money again. So we saw there's a weak link in the system, and that is the traditional role of the recyclers. They're used to getting paid upstream rather than downstream. And in combination with looking at who is making the decisions on what to use and what to buy, we found that it's not really the recycler who's deciding who will buy their material. It's not even sure that's the next step, the refiners or the ones that are packaging. It is the end user. They need performance, they need health and safety, and they need value for money. So they are putting the demands on the refiner or packager, who in turn are looking at the market and what's available. Now coming back to SDAB, what were we doing? We were going to the authorities, traditionally, to the European Union and to the local authorities, and we were saying, well, if we make another report proving this or that, would you approve our material then? Yes. And we didn't get an answer, but we made the report anyway. And after 20 years, we're still asking the same questions. Can we please make another report to prove our material's performance and that it's not hazardous? And so our focus has been very much to the authorities, which is natural when we're looking at ourselves as an extended arm of the government. But the reality is that if we want to use our material, we need to understand the market. We need to understand competition. We need to understand what the end user is looking for. And that takes a lot of energy. And we could see that we're not helped by the traditional recyclers because it's not in their minds to think end user and performance. They're getting paid upstream. So we decided about a year ago to get involved in the last stage to start looking at analyzing the markets, the sizes, the customer needs, what is the competition like, what are they playing at, what are their strengths and weaknesses, what could be our position, what is the regulation saying. I will definitely say that is a problem in many ways, but we also have some unique selling points if we get back to the actual performance of our material. Maybe we need to sponsor some research, lobbying, of course, some cooperation, not at least within the European Union and the similar companies to SDAB. So we kicked off a new strategy called a pull strategy, where we try to work as a market maker out at the end user, to have happy children out there playing all year round on our artificial turfs, saving their knees, having a good ball path on the bounce from the pitch, and looking at other parameters that is important for the customer. Working from that, trying to adopt our material to make it attractive, to influence our recycler to adopt, to make the right sizes, the right content, or even mixtures with other materials to suit the demand. So we started actually, the first step was to order from one of the universities in Sweden a status report which is called Demand from Rubber Material from Tires. And you see already in the heading, we're not talking offset potential. We're talking demand from customers. What do they need? So this came out in June. We're having an annual update. we're using it as an input to our strategy for ourselves and for the recyclers. The content is per application, always the end user perspective. We look at the advantages that we have with the tire-derived material. We look at the challenges because we need to identify them to be able to address them. The current status and what measures and activities that are ongoing, so we can make some sort of priority on what to focus on and when we're ready. So again, coming back to the main areas where we use material today, not just as a dead infiller, but actually from the very performance of the material. We have the artificial grass pitches, we have some rubber asphalt. But from the event that we had for our 20th anniversary, when we presented this from push to pull strategy change, we have also had offsets in terms of new areas that are now under development. One is water cleaning, and that is from private sewage water. You know, Sweden is a big country and we don't have municipality pipes and sewage systems for everything. So you need to have a one-house sewage system and an infiltration bed, and usually that's used with natural gravel. So through the rocks, it infiltrates all the bad things from the water. And we found out that this is a perfect application for our rubber material. The pores in the material is exactly what the microorganisms want when they eat the dirt from the water. And that's a potential of 100,000 tons per year in Sweden, which is more than we have. But it's a completely new application from the view, from the customer view. Another one is covered ditches. You know, agricultural land, you have some ditches and you have floodings and you need to get rid of the water, and you put down some pipes. And instead we can have tire shred doing the same thing, and we don't need the pipe. We have buffer tanks coming with the climate changes. We have more rain, more intense rain, and by having a buffer from hard areas, you know, with asphalt, you know, in the drainage system, you need some sort of buffer tank. We can fill that with our material, and that takes many, many, many tons. We also have a revulcanization system coming up, where a very, very fine powder from the rubber is devulcanized on the surface, but not the whole thing. And by doing it on the surface, it can be used as a mixture with new rubber and revulcanized in new areas. So just by looking at the right end of the value chain, we have managed to identify sectors where the performance of our material is sought after, and that's what we're going after. So what we're doing now is really, together with the other ELT companies in Europe, we're forming some sort of vision, mission, and strategy to fight on this market. It's not easy, but we need to understand that unless we look at it as a market with the potential and the games being played on the market, we will be stuck in the old regime where we're just happy collecting 104%, and that's the end of life, and the fees will start to increase, and we will end up with, who knows, nothing. So that's my short and brief message today. I'll be here for the rest of the day if you have any questions. This report is available, so if you contact me, it's not publicly open, but if you contact me, I will make sure you get a copy. So thank you very much once again.
Thank you, dear Fredrik. Thank you.